everybody. You're listening to Dual Cast Geekery, where we discuss all things video games, TV shows, movies, comics, and more. I'm your host, Britny, and I'm joined by my co-host, Oli, today.
Hey, how's it going, y'all? I don't know why I say y'all.
Are you in a Western mood?
Rootin' tootin' I am.
Oh my god. That's silly. Today we're going to be talking about Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Episode 5.
Episode 5? I'm sorry, I'm just cutting you off. Episode 5?
What is with you today?
I don't know. I'm just being silly. I don't know why.
Oh man, is it because we've been playing Clue and now you're all hyped up?
That's probably the main reason. I really enjoy Clue. It's fun. And they should do like a Marvel and DC version of it. That'd be so awesome.
I was surprised to see so many different versions of Clue when we went looking today online. So we bought technically it's a new version of the original Clue game. It was only $10 at Target. So we bought it last night, and then today I was just looking on Amazon and looking online, and they have some pretty cool versions of that. Like they have a Stephen King's It version of Clue, which looks pretty cool, but...
And we also keep hearing a little bit negative things about, like, missing pieces and things. And I was like,
I know.
How's that? They're partnered with Hasbro, but they're missing pieces. That ain't right.
I know. It's confusing. I don't know how all of that works, but I noticed that in a lot of the versions of Clue, but I don't know. Maybe we'll make our own for fun.
I'm planning on doing that. I really am. I'm going to make our own, like, Clue game. It's going to be so cool. Everybody could buy it, even though it be under the table. We can't be letting them know about this, okay, folks?
Oh my gosh. I don't even think we can say that on here. But I am just going to say that if you get really good at making board games just for us, for fun, I would like a horror movie Clue and Monopoly for my birthday.
Okay, I could work on that.
You have a while still to be able to make it, so... But today we're going to actually be talking about Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Episode 5, the second to last episode of this incredible show.
The show has been good. It's a lot better than I thought it was going to be. I was kind of worried. I don't know why. I worry about things. I just do. I'm like, what if it's not that good? It's about, Falcon and Winter Soldier. How can it be that interesting? I'm just being weird. I was just like, just being weird. That's all.
Dang, I was honestly thinking I would like it maybe better than WandaVision until I saw WandaVision. I was like, well, yeah, I like that. And I like the old style of WandaVision. But, yeah, I was expecting Falcon and the Winter Soldier to be great. I wasn't expecting it to be quite as good as it is, but I knew I would like it.
Yeah. Well, to say WandaVision was a great show. I fully enjoyed it. It was like what they did with that show was really good, and what they're doing with Falcon Winter Soldier is just really good. It's been great, and I'm liking all their shows. I'm really liking their shows.
I am looking forward to seeing how we like Loki, because Loki is not a character I care about at all. I'm so sorry. I am not a fan. I know he has this big old fan base. I know there's lots of people that love Loki. Lots of girls love Loki. I'm not one of them. It's not that I hate him per se. He's just one of my least favorite characters. I don't know. So we are going to watch it and we are going to talk about it whenever it does come out, June 11th. But God, I may eat my words. Some of these shows make me eat my words.
I think once we start to learn more about Loki and how he had such a complex against, his father he felt like Thor was always seen as better and greater.
Because he was always seen that way.
And when he found out that he wasn't like really part of their family, that really like hit him pretty hard.
Yeah,
so
I see that.
He turned evil. Pretty much.
It'll be interesting to see, could definitely change my mind about some things. And I'm excited to see the other characters and the little Easter eggs and the lead-ups that they put into these shows for kind of foreshadowing.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what foreshadowing they put inside of Loki. Kind of like today they did some foreshadowing. Well, on episode 5 of Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
So I guess let's just go ahead and jump right into this episode.
Let's get into it. So we start off again where it just kind of leaves right off where, it ended with him just murdering somebody.
John Walker murdering
somebody.
somebody.
John Walker murdering somebody.
What a dick.
He starts off with, John Walker's running, and it looks like he's in like an old factory area, sort of, after his ruthless revenge kill that he did. It was a revenge kill, but it was a ruthless one, and this guy didn't even kill, his friend.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a little bit extreme, especially if someone's on the ground and they're pleading and begging you not to kill him. You're going to start just hammering away at him like a crazy monster.
Shielding away at him.
Yeah, shielding away at him. Like, that's pretty brutal. He's at the factory, and guess who shows up? Is Winter Soldier, good old Bucky, and Sam, the Falcon.
Yeah. And they kind of try to give him they give each other a run for their money. Like, John Walker is clearly a lot more strong now, so the fight is not as easy as, it could have been had he not had a super... Well, they wouldn't have been in this scenario had he not taken that serum in the first place, but, he kind of got an upper hand on Sam.
Yeah.
Destroyed his wings and everything.
He has the strength above Sam. If him and Sam were the same level, without that super soldier serum, I feel that Sam would have whipped him without using the wings or anything. I think Sam is a better fighter. He's proving that with how he fights and how he fights with the wings. He's like really good. He's able to stand up. He's a martial artist from what I can tell. And I'm not as sure in the comics if he's that like good at martial arts, but it shows it here in the show that he can fight, and him fighting John Walker with the super soldier serum, even with all his skill, he couldn't just hang with him like Winter Soldier could.
Yeah, there was some off balance things there, but Bucky and Sam do end up defeating him. Bucky really helps out a lot. Oh my gosh, when Bucky breaks John's arm, to get the shield.
Him and Sam did it, and Sam turned on his like thrusters.
His jetpack. Oh my gosh!
Oh, yeah.
Ouch! I guess it was more of a dislocation, maybe, as opposed to breaking. But because later we see him in the sling.
Yeah.
And, this guy's ego can't take much more busting, for sure. But yeah, they finally get the shield off of him, and at first they kind of play it as Bucky is mentally challenging himself about whether he should take the shield or give it to Sam, and ultimately he gives it to Sam. You kind of think, is Bucky going to take it? Because we already know that he has been blaming Sam a lot for this whole shield debacle. Yeah. So he does end up giving it back to Sam, though. He doesn't want that responsibility. He knows Steve wanted Sam to have it, so.
And then he walks off, and then you see Sam with the shield, and like you said, he's being gross.
Well, he was like taking his bare fingers, like rubbing on the blood, and it just...
Yeah, he's just trying to rub it off. I think he's like, this shouldn't be on the shield. This shouldn't be on the shield. So he's trying to rub it off, and I know, that is gross. It is blood.
But he did care more about the integrity of the shield versus getting some blood on his hands. But I will just say, scientifically, I think that blood would have dried by then.
Yeah.
It was so wet.
Yeah, it was.
Blood dries so much faster.
Yeah, you're right.
Not that I know.
Yeah, it would have dried on there. Would have been.
It looked like old blood. It was like dark. Whatever. I don't know. Don't listen to me.
The horror expert over here. I'm just saying.
Like, that ain't right.
She knows. She's like, the blood on that knife. Nope. That should have been dry by now.
Maybe I should have been a blood spatter expert instead of a writer.
Definitely.
Oh, all in a day's work. So, it's pretty obvious from the beginning, too, that I was entirely wrong in thinking that Battlestar might still be alive. I know last podcast episode I mentioned that I really thought maybe Lamar was still hanging on, gonna come back, possibly, but...
He may come back as a ghost. I'm sorry.
Maybe like Cyborg. Cyborg. Moment like Cyborg.
Or like a total robot.
But yeah, so, I guess they decided to do away with him fairly quickly, for whatever reason. I mean, to me, Marvel doesn't just do away with characters because, there might be a reason why they need them back at some point. It just, they have a hard time letting go of people, but I guess, I guess Battlestar is just like, okay.
All right, let's get rid of him. Because
means to an end of making John Walker psycho.
Yeah. Well,
I liked Battlestar, though.
Yeah, Battlestar was actually, he wasn't bad. He was more upbeat and everything, and he wasn't as, like, John Walker was always, like, so gung-ho and everything, and, like, John Walker messed up a lot of stuff that could have been resolved pretty quickly. Like, they could have had, I can't even remember the girl's name, redhead.
Carly!
They could have had Carly, like, not doing what she's doing now, and after Sam talked to her, he could have talked her down pretty much.
I kind of have a hard time, and we'll talk about this a little bit later too, because in a later scene, it's kind of obvious that Lamar's sister isn't happy with John.
Oh, no.
So, my theory is that if John Walker took the super soldier serum, and he knew that he could take the Flag Smashers and whoever in fights then. But he knowingly brought Lamar into battle as a human.
Yeah.
Not with any type of super strength. And he brought him into those scenarios without even telling him. It's like bringing a Chihuahua to a Rottweiler fight. Like, why would you do that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's very selfish. And he didn't wait to see, like, if he could get more for Lamar. John just took it for himself, but, let Lamar tag along when he was nowhere near capable of fighting off those people.
Yeah. It was pretty selfish. And Lamar, well, you kind of think of Lamar and Falcon in a similar situation, Sam, except Sam knows how to throw. I'm sorry.
Sam knows how to throw, and Sam has more equipment
more
and gadgets
and experience. He knows how to fight. He said more gadgets.
No.
He does. He has more gadgets and his wings. He knows how to use the equipment he has. Unlike Battlestar, who just had like a bulletproof vest or something. He just didn't have the skills to pay the bills. Sorry.
Okay, we gotta stop saying equipment.
I mean, that's what he got. The equipment.
Okay, stop talking about their equipment. Let's move on. Poor Lamar, I hate this. And I'm not laughing whatsoever about him passing away. Just, I don't know what's wrong with me right now. Torres comes back.
Yeah, he does.
We've been without him for a bit.
Yeah. Torres comes back and he gives them a lowdown of what's going on.
When things kind of settle down and, John Walker's going back to the States. Falcon is going to go back. Torres and him meet up, once things kind of calm down. And Falcon lets him keep his wings.
Yeah, his broken wings.
His broken wings.
The wings that John Walker ripped off of him, and like, ooh, John Walker, I'm so tough. You're a jive turkey.
Wings off birds.
I know.
Whatever.
Oh, sick man.
Maybe Torres will fix up those wings and become the next Falcon.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Or he'll change his name to Bluebird or something. I don't know. Some type of
Sparrow.
Condor or something. I don't know if he can be Condor. There may be a superhero named Condor, but some type of bird of prey, like
a starling.
Bird.
Captain Starling.
Captain Starling. Captain wing thing. I don't know.
That would be kind of cool.
It would be.
Maybe he becomes Red Wing.
That would be cool.
Because he's the one with the technology that can kind of like fix things, you know?
Mm-hmm. He could be Red Wing. And then, you know, in the comics, I keep mentioning this, Red Wing is actually a living bird, a living falcon that does like, that he can see out of his eyes because they have like some kind of link. Mm-hmm. So it's pretty cool. I wish they could have brought that in, but it'd been difficult to do. Right.
Yeah, so we'll see where they go with that, if they go anywhere. Back in the States, John Walker is stripped of his titles.
Mm-hmm. Stripped of his titles, his, like, pension. They, like, took everything from him.
So, I know me and you kind of had some differing feelings about this. I'm all for it because he really acted very unethical for his role. You know, in what he did. It was not cool. It wasn't good to do that with the titles that he had. Mm-hmm. You know, he did, however, I know, like, he did break down. Mental health kind of has some play in that. But I can see why they did it. And I think that would be the best call because you wouldn't want someone running around acting like that. Now, could they have had maybe a little bit more compassion? Yes. But that's just the world, you know?
Yeah. Well, I just felt that the way they did things, how they went ahead and they pretty much took what Sam gave as, like, for the Smithsonian not to be used. Mm-hmm. It's not theirs to give out in the first place, okay? Right. That's not their shield. Mm-hmm. That was created by Tony Stark's father, who then got that medal from Wakanda or something like that. So, you know, it wasn't theirs to do that with. And actually, that shield was rebuilt because the original shield got destroyed by Thanos.
In Endgame, right?
In Endgame. So that was Wakanda. That's actually Wakanda's shield that they just remade.
Everything is Wakandan.
So that's a new shield that they gave back to Captain America. Mm-hmm. So they don't have the right to it. So they gave it to him, and then they gave him all these titles and gave him all this pressure. He's trying to live up to Captain freaking America. How he gonna do that? You know, there's not many people that can do that, especially just, like, I know he's a soldier and supposed to be a soldier and hero, but he's still this something that he's not going to be able to live up to because of what Steve has done, which is, you know, above what most have.
You can't be someone else.
Yeah, pretty much. So he, like, that pressure, and then he took the serum, and we don't even know the effects that serum has on other, like, that serum is kind of different from the serum that Steve got, because Steve got similar serum, but he had to go into a machine, and it, like, went through all these changes. It changed his body. This serum doesn't really change your body, which is lame. I'm going to keep saying that. This is the lamest serum ever. I mean, I know you're strong and all, but I want the body as well, you loser. I'm sorry. But you just don't know what that effect had on their mind. And the one that Steve had was really perfected. This may be perfected, but it seems like it does something with people's emotions. And I think maybe Carly is experiencing this as well. And that's why she has such, like, doing things the way that she's doing it, because of the serum. It could be like it affects people differently or cause them more aggression.
Yeah. I think it just enhances everything.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah.
And once he is stripped of these titles, we get introduced to a new character up in that courthouse.
Who?
So a lady walks up to John Walker and his wife, and her name is Valentina Allegra de Fontaine. Contessa.
Oh my goodness.
Contessa. Valentina Allegra de Fontaine.
Wow, that's a lot. That is a lot.
It's a mouthful. I'd like to have a name like that, by the way.
That's a lot of...
De Fontaine is pretty cool.
It is.
Allegra de Fontaine. That's cool.
Allegra is a cool name.
But she, to me, felt like a real, like, Agatha Harkness in a way. Mm-hmm. And I loved, like, the black and purple hair.
Yes.
Super cool. I know she's probably somewhat evil, right? Mm-hmm. You know, in her own little sly way. But I like that kind of character. So, according to Marvel.com, I guess Valentina Allegra de Fontaine is a is secretly working for the terrorist organization Leviathan while successfully infiltrating both S.H.I.E.L.D. and Hydra.
Wow.
Do you know much about Valentina?
I don't, but whenever I think of her hair, like the little purple strip, she reminds me of Miss Hand, which is she was like a Hydra-like agent, and she has that purple color in her hair, and she's like some kind of agent of some sort and fighter and stuff like that.
Are they related?
I don't know. I don't think they are. Maybe they are, but I don't.
Victoria Hand?
Victoria Hand, yes, that's her name.
Oh.
So maybe not the same person. No, not the same person. If her name
She has red hair. Black with a red streak.
Okay. Well, my bad.
But I see what you mean, though. As I'm looking at her picture, I can see that correlation for sure.
Yeah.
But she just... Valentina's Contessa seemed like a real sly spy type, super cool, sleek character.
Yeah.
Female Nick Fury, virtually.
Yeah. Fast
right?
talker and everything like that.
Wouldn't that be interesting to see those two together?
That'd be interesting. Yeah, it would be interesting because I don't think they would get along.
No.
Not at all.
Not professionally.
No, not at all.
We can kind of tell from her conversation with John that she's telling him that while others might not value him, he's very valuable to others, aka her and whoever she's working for. Mm-hmm. And that she wants him, basically, to work for her. And she gives him the card while also basically completely ignoring his wife. Which, that actress that plays John Walker's wife does pretty good acting, where she was like really put off by that.
Yeah,
and so I would be the same way. I'd be like, hello, like I'm sitting right here.
She's like, B, what you doing? Why you doing all this? And then she's like, oh yeah, you wonderful one. She's like,
oh my gosh, I'd be so pissed.
She's like, oh yeah, and you made two great,
decisions.
Decisions.
Said, yeah.
Said the second was taking that super soda serum and the whatever, and then she was like, oh yes, and marrying this wonderful woman. I was like, what a I just wanted to say something
so backhanded.
rude. I know.
And then she gives him that card that's just white on one side and black on the other.
But yeah, it was kind of...
So, she told him her name, but there's no way for him to really contact her that we know of. Now, that card probably transforms or does something silly, but...
Yeah, she probably had to put in some kind of oh, I see now. I see. I don't know. I don't know why I had to talk like that, but...
I don't know. So, that is kind of foreshadowing of what could possibly be in the future. How many of these other people is she hunting down? How many people is she bringing together to make her own little troupe of superheroes?
U.S. agent. U.S. agent.
Oh, I thought you were legitimately coughing.
Oh, no.
I was like, oh shoot, I almost just muted the microphone.
U.S. agent.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's why I was thinking wouldn't it be great to still have Battlestar around?
Yeah, it would have been.
So, do you have any more predictions about this Contessa lady, or?
Not sure. I don't have any that I can really think of.
More thoughts?
Don't know much about her in the comic book realm, so I can't say anything.
No extra thoughts, no nothing?
No.
Okay.
I just know that she's a slippery one. I just know she's up to no good.
Yes, definitely. I enjoyed it. It's kind of... I like those little added in things where it gives some mystery. I love mystery.
Yeah.
So that's exciting. We didn't get a lot of Carly this episode, though. Not a lot of long scenes where we heard a lot from her. It was kind of fast-paced with Carly so that it could be drawn-out scenes for other characters.
Yeah.
They claimed... This kind of killed me a little bit because Falcon and them were talking about how she was so underground and super unreachable. Like, no one could find her and where she was at. But yet, every scene with her, she was out and about just doing things at the places she had already been throughout the show.
Yeah.
Like, she went back to that boarding house type place. They were back there. They were in that park.
They were everywhere that they could be seen and found, or people would have known what they would be.
You know, it's basically like she was walking around getting some Starbucks, some McDonald's, just like hanging out. And they're like, oh, she's so unreachable, man. We have no idea where she went. That's a little crazy.
Yeah. Their information network is like not doing its job.
No, and also, I think that they didn't quite go into specifics, but I'm fairly certain that this episode stretched a long span of time because we've got the boat being completely rebuilt and we've got Sam physically bulking up a lot.
Yes.
And I think that's not an overnight thing.
No.
Obviously.
No.
That's months. I think it was months. And then let's not forget, Bucky, which is his the next scene anyway, but Bucky talks to Zemo, gets him arrested by Wakanda and, the Dora Milaje, and he calls in a favor to the Dora Milaje, and then later on we see that they've already got that favor fulfilled. So there's been a long time between all this.
Yeah,
so
there's a nice stretch of time.
This episode does go through a long time.
Yeah, like you said, they're working on the ship and...
Oh, the boat.
The boat, yeah, the boat. I said the ship.
That's a boat.
Yeah, the boat.
He wishes it was a ship.
He does.
Well, maybe not. I wouldn't want to completely renovate a ship.
Well, the boat and Bucky comes and helps. Bucky hits on the sister, the norm.
Yeah.
Stay away from my sister.
But before that, we've got that scene with Zemo and Bucky goes to see him and Zemo thinks Bucky's gonna shoot him.
He does. I thought so too.
Oh, I didn't. I knew from the beginning. I was like, Bucky's not going down that road.
He's like, click, click, click. I was like, oh. And Zemo's like, you didn't do it.
I don't think Bucky wants to do those things anymore.
No, he doesn't.
Even for the greater good. I think he wants to play by the book as much as possible, be as compassionate as possible. I think he's really trying to turn himself around, obviously, and he also wants to... I think he has some kind of complex where he always thinks, like, what would Steve do? Am I reading too far into that?
Yeah, no, that's exactly what he does.
Instead of like back in the day when everybody was doing what would Jesus do, he's doing what would Steve do.
Yeah. And the thing is that they actually talk about that a little bit in the scene with him and Sam when Sam starts to do his training to try to learn how to use the shield. Yeah. And they kind of cover that how Sam's like, we can't keep wondering about what would Steve do or say. We need to do... We need to, make these decisions ourselves. And he says that to him, and he is referring to himself as well, but he is talking to Bucky about we need to, figure our stuff out, too, because, Steve isn't here.
Yeah, they're leaderless now, so they have to become kind of their own men in their own way, more so than just... figuring out what Steve would do.
And since, Steve trusted him with the shield, then Sam says he's going to have to be the person that, uses the shield and can't be trying to live up to what Steve did. He's got to do what he does.
Yeah.
And that's what John Walker kind of fell short. Because
he's trying too hard.
He's trying to be a lot like Captain America and be a symbol like Captain America, but he need to be the symbol of himself as Captain America, and he probably would have done a lot better and wouldn't have been as hot-headed and would have been more reasonable.
Oh, the things that could have been. So the Dora Milaje do get Zemo, and I was very happy to hear that they were going to take him to the raft. I talked about why was he not in the raft? Like, he wouldn't have gotten out, but that also wouldn't have helped with the storyline of this show. So, he's going there, and that's definitely the best place for him.
Yeah.
So I guess Wakanda's not gonna keep him their own prisoner.
They decide not to keep him and take him to the raft, which is a high, security place. It's hard to break out of a place that's underwater.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, very difficult. Mm-hmm. Unless maybe I guess you were Namor.
Then the raft be very difficult to hold someone
They'd
like Namor.
They'd have to keep him in a prison in the sky.
Yeah, they had to do something like that because Namor is just too much.
And we get back to Baltimore, Maryland.
Oh, what happens there?
Isaiah Bradley.
Oh, yes.
Lives there.
I totally forgot about that for a second.
Sam goes back to visit him by himself.
Mm-hmm.
We get a lot of dialogue here that's pretty emotional, Isaiah is very understandably quite bitter about everything that happened to him. It is very understandable why he feels the way that he feels. He did not get good treatment.
No.
Whatsoever.
He let this, well, not let it. Like, it'd just be difficult if you were treated the way that he was treated. And we have to remember that this is back in, like, the 50s and things like that, back in the Korean War. He is in the Korean War, and I think he is partially part in World War II in some way. So, and he's long-lived because the super soldier serum makes you kind of live longer. And, well, his version did. A lot of the other people that was with him that were in the programs, because they pretty much lied to them whenever they are giving them the pills or giving them the super soldier serum. It's like, this is for whatever disease or to help with this. But then you find out it's experimental, and it was killing them. It killed all of them. His was the only one that was like, that worked well, that he was able to live. And then, after they was finished with all his missions and stuff, they did tests on him, and they didn't allow him to have contact with his wife. Like, they treated him, he is like a lab rat, pretty much.
Yeah, like a prisoner.
And it was terrible. And with that, he has a lot of resentment and bitter.
Yeah, he's quite bitter.
Yes.
100%. And I completely understand why he doesn't want to involve himself with the public eye and why he feels the way that he feels about it, because that was his trauma and that was his experience. But I don't think that it's quite fair to expect Sam to agree when that wasn't Sam's experience. One person's trauma shouldn't dictate another person's decisions. And I think that Sam can usher in a new era of respect and whatnot on, the community. So.
Yeah. And also, Isaiah seemed to blame, Steve too.
He did.
On that. And, Steve was, of course, on ice. But we all know that Steve doesn't have that type of... That's not what he was about. And if he would have known about that, Steve would have been furious.
Which is why Sam was mad at Bucky for not telling Steve about it. And also, though, Isaiah would have really no way to know. I mean, I don't think that there was probably any type of public statement from Steve that would make it seem like he was for it, But from where Isaiah stood, he saw how they praised Steve and put him on this pedestal and made him showcased him so much, put him in such the public eye. And I'm sure Isaiah felt a certain type of way about that.
Yeah, he would have, of course. Because
he's like, oh, well, I have the same abilities, but you're treating me this way and treating Steve this way.
And I also went into war and did the whole freedom thing, saved soldiers, did this, did everything that, Steve did. But I was thrown into prison, and then
You're saying that as Isaiah Bradley, not yourself.
Yes, as Isaiah
Bradley. Sorry,
Bradley.
as the way you were talking, it sounded like you were saying that you, Ollie, did those things.
No. Me, let's say as Isaiah Bradley, getting thrown into prison, getting tested on, and you weren't treated the same. You were kind of swept under the rug, and then they didn't want anyone to know about you.
Yeah, that would feel pretty hurtful.
Yeah.
Well, very hurtful. I don't even know what that would feel like. But it would
I would
bad.
have all kind of resentment towards, I guess I would have resentment towards Steve, but, and not knowing
Possibly.
the guy.
Everybody takes things differently.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm glad that, some people could have had that conversation with Isaiah and let it sway them a certain type of way. But I think Sam took it into consideration and took, Isaiah's experiences to heart and thought about it. But I'm glad that ultimately he doesn't let it dictate his decisions,
Yeah, his experiences, Isaiah's experiences aren't the same that Sam had. And due to this, Sam was able to talk to family and then get a better understanding of how he can better use the shield.
Ushering in a new era. It is a fairly long sequence of events that happen at Sam's house, and I thoroughly enjoyed all of them.
Yeah.
Well, Sam's family's house, I guess.
Yeah.
It's his sister's home, but I didn't know what that was. Why do I keep thinking that it was maybe where him and his sister grew up together?
I'm not sure. I think it may be. It could be the family home.
I mean, she inherited the boat. So...
It could be. No, I'm not sure on that.
I thought these scenes were a nice breather away from everything. Just kind of showing where Sam's good nature comes from. And his wanting to help people, their little village. And the people that they know are all, like, sweet people and very neighborly.
Yeah.
And, very small town. Like, where I'm from, that type of...
like everybody knows each other.
And, like he said, how many people still owe mom and dad some favors? Well, of course, all those people are going to come and help out. And I really enjoyed those scenes and the banter and everything. That Bucky shows up and it was light, finally, some lightness a little bit.
Whenever, like this, like, oh, who's going to pick that up? And then Bucky just picks it up and takes it over to the other side and everybody's like, okay.
Yeah, those are some good laughs when Sam was really working hard on some things and Bucky would come and take care of it in one swoop.
Yeah. And he's like, go on somewhere. I don't need you. Including
giving Sarah a few looks here and there.
I know. We saw that. It was like, Bucky. But Sam didn't like that at all. He's like, you better stay away from that. Stay away from my sister.
Sam does such great facial expressions. I just love their chemistry.
Yeah.
Like how they work together. It's so great.
He's a good actor. I can't remember his name right now. Anthony Mackie.
I forgot it too for a second.
He's a good actor. I like him. I've been...
Yeah. He's in a lot of more stuff now.
Yeah, I'm starting to see him in a lot of Netflix. Like, he's in Netflix series. I'm going to start watching that show that he's in.
Is that a show or a movie? That synchronization thing or whatever?
Synchronization is a movie.
Synchronization.
But he's also in a show called Altered Carbon or something like that.
Oh, right. Altered Carbon, yeah.
Yeah, he's in like the second season. So I'm gonna check that out.
Just a little offshoot thing. There was something on Twitter where people were talking about, please don't let Anthony Mackie play DMX.
Why not?
I don't know. That's all I thought. I didn't know if he could play him or not.
I think Anthony Mackie could do anything he wanted to do.
That's what I thought too, but I wasn't going to
get into it. If he chose to play DMX, he could. I think Anthony Mackie is a good actor. I don't know why people are hating on him like that.
I think we need to allow him to show us that he can method act, maybe.
And he probably could run for president if he wanted to.
Isn't Dwayne The Rock Johnson thinking about it?
I don't know. He could.
I think people would vote for him.
I think they would. And I think other countries may be scared to be, talking to him in the conference room. They're like, he said, what you say?
I think other countries could respect us.
Yeah.
Because they like him. So, who knows?
He may put the rock bottom on somebody. Like, don't be playing with him. He said, we don't need to go to war. Me and you can war right here.
Oh my gosh. This just got like crazy turn. All right.
Okay,
back to the show. Back to our regularly scheduled program. Yeah, I really did enjoy those family sequences and Sam's nephews, they're super cute, And the scenery is so cool.
Yeah, cool scenery. I am really into the whole training sequence. Like his training sequence.
Yes, that was very good.
I was like, he got bulked up. He really did bulk up, and he like leaned out. I was like, I need to get on his program.
Were they covering him up throughout the rest of the show?
I think they were.
Because if you notice, he was always wearing thick sweaters.
Yeah, he was wearing thick sweaters to make himself not look as big. But then whenever, which is kind of hard. I thought he was looking kind of.
What do they call this part of your arm?
I think you're talking about the traps.
Yeah, they like suddenly
like,
got so swollen.
Yeah, he looked like he got real big. I think
what
they were
happened to
really.
his shoulders?
I was thinking he was getting a little. I was like, he looks a little chunky, but they're just trying to kept like putting like heavier things over him, so to show. Just like, oh yeah, you got a lot of muscle. We want to show that later on, dude.
Yeah, like really, because then if you notice during the training sequence, they suddenly had him in tank tops.
Yeah, and then you
with like really big armholes.
Yeah, and then you saw that he was huge. Yeah, he's been working out.
Yeah, that was fun, and I liked how it showed that. I mean, he's not a weak guy, no matter what. But they showed like he was struggling with it at first, and then just slowly progressing so greatly. I thought that was pretty cool, and I really liked those conversations between him and Bucky, playing some hot potato with the shield,
Yeah. And, Bucky, of course, is really good at it because he has the strength to just handle it. We know that John Walker was using it without having the strength, but he was doing it very basic. He, would just go straight ahead. You never saw him do, the ricochets off of different things and catch it and do flips.
I think we saw just a tiny bit of it in the beginning of episode 2 when they're showing some footage of his test for Captain America, during that march that they had. And it showed him doing a few ricochets with the shield, but nothing incredible like Sam was doing.
Yeah, Sam really was training hard, and he did that one little flip and grabbed it. I was like, okay, he's trying to be like Steve. Because you remember when just watching this Steve Rogers Captain America, whenever he's throwing that shield, it's just like.
I want to rewatch Captain America again, but you know what? This is also not quite off subject, but just a little side note. I saw this picture online a few days ago where, in the Captain America movie, he's running barefoot.
Yes.
Those are fake feet.
Yeah, I saw that.
And they're so gross and huge looking.
Yeah. That was. It looked like little rubber things that they put on. Because, running on the ground sucks. It's not easy to be doing that with all the little rocks and things.
Yeah. So that made me want to watch the movies again.
And try to see if we can figure out, oh, yep, I can see those weird looking feet that you got on there.
And they're like twice the size of Bigfoot feet. Maybe after Falcon and the Winter Soldier next week, the last episode, we will watch through those again. There are a few other scenes worth noting in this episode, though. When John Walker goes to see Battlestar's family. I kind of mentioned it a little bit before, His parents are very sad. Lamar's parents are super sad. And the sister is obviously quite sad. John is obviously covering his own ass and still leading them to believe that that guy killed Lamar, not Carly, which we know is not true. The guy that John Walker killed did not kill Lamar. So I believe that John Walker is probably spreading that lie around, trying to make himself look better. But the look on Lamar's sister's face tells me she either doesn't believe John or she just feels off about him for whatever reason.
Yeah, it's just not liking it. They're like, Like, she's probably thinking, like you mentioned, you brought my brother into that situation and you weren't able to really do anything to help him out, and now he's dead because of you. She may see it like that. And I know John Walker is sad for his friend's death, but he did kind of have a super soldier serum, and he should have tried to keep his friend out of it, I know his friend is capable, but he is up against some super soldiers, and why in the heck would you split away from him,
Right, and expect him to be able to fight the same as them. Another brief but kind of telling scene, I guess, with Sharon Carter.
Oh, yeah. She's talking to someone on the phone, isn't she?
Yep, she makes a comb fall. She makes a phone call talking about an Algerian prison, and somebody is not very happy on the other end.
Yeah.
So, come to find out, she was talking to Batroc, I believe is his name.
Leaper. I know they don't call him the Leaper on the show, but I love to call him Batroc the Leaper.
And this was a guy that Sam was fighting in the first episode.
He is also present in Captain America Winter Soldier. He was on that ship that Captain America goes to, and he like fights Captain America head up. Him and Captain America just like trade like fighting styles and stuff. Of course, Captain America wins, but he is able to hang with Captain America for a little bit.
Yeah, he's quite the fighter. You know, Sharon tells him that she has a job for him. Very brief scene, but when we see him show up with Carly, it's kind of apparent that Sharon set up that meeting.
Yes.
So, yikes. Sharon's connected with the Flag Smashers in some type of way.
Yeah, she is. And I'm wondering what's going on. What is her game plan? What is she up to?
Well, there are some fan theories that are pretty strong that Sharon is actually the power broker.
And that really could be true, you know? She could be.
The fact that she is so based out of Madripoor and has so many connections in Madripoor, and the fact that, remember how when this scene happened in Madripoor after Sybil was shot and our favorite trio was running outside of the bar and Sharon was like mysteriously there? Like, so magically coincidental.
Yeah. Yeah, suspicious.
Very suspicious. Puts some things into perspective. And Carly is finally initiating her last stages of their revolution by ultimately shutting down the meeting of the GRC.
Like, Zemo was kind of right. Like, very right with how she was becoming more extreme. And Sam and them really have to put a stop to her. Because, like, her group is really... You know, they are a terrorist cell, and they need to be stopped.
And they've finally, you know, initiated their final, I guess, revolution?
Yeah, and it, like, shut down the computers and everything from that area, and I don't know what they're planning on doing, but...
Well, that was the meeting where a bunch of, I guess, higher-ups were trying to decide what to do about, you know... All these people coming back from the blip.
Yeah, the blip.
The Flag Smashers are making their presence known. So what are some of your thoughts about this? Like Sharon Carter being the power broker and this whole revolution thing.
I can see it. And if she is the power broker, she probably knows that, you know, all the serum is gone. So... If she's the power broker, is her goal still to capture them? Maybe get their blood to get another scientist to make it? If she is the power broker, or like what's her end game? I don't know what she's up to. Is she still actually secretly helping Falcon and Winter Soldier? I don't know.
But I don't understand how she could be helping Falcon when she's releasing the guy that wants to kill him out of prison and basically, ultimately handing Falcon to him on a silver platter.
I don't know exactly, but...
What would make Sharon feel this way?
It could be that she was so... Like, she was burnt and nobody even remembered her, you know?
Yeah, so like revenge.
It could be a form of revenge, and then maybe she found out that, you know, the guy that she liked was actually got with her aunt.
Oh, yikes. And since Steve went back into, like, the whole timeline or whatever...
He became her uncle.
Did she have to see him all the time? I don't know how any of that works.
I don't
whatever.
know. But that's her uncle. She kissed
like,
her uncle.
Dang, I wanted a slice of that too. Uncle Steve.
Oh,
Ew.
boy. Oh,
the
boy.
more I think about it, the worse it gets.
Oh, boy. This is wrong. Well, and then we go to...
So you didn't have anything else to say about it?
I can't really think of anything. What do you have to think?
I don't know. This is just such a big WTF thing for me because I wasn't even considering it. I just thought, oh, Sharon's so cool and nice. She just showed up out of nowhere. And then now I'm questioning everything.
Yeah.
But last time I questioned everything with WandaVision, we didn't get a one-eyed Shimogorath or whatever, like, octopus guy.
Yeah,
that's what I was hoping for, and we didn't get it. So I'm like, well, now I'm scared to make predictions, because we didn't get Mephisto.
So maybe, well, I'm going to give you a prediction. Shimogorath and Mephisto shows up in this. No, I'm sorry.
If it does, I'm done. I'm going to say, you know what? You watch the rest of these shows. I'm out.
Well, I'm not sure. This is a surprise to me as well.
I was kind of hoping Falcon would pick up the shield earlier in the series.
Yeah, I was wanting it too, but I'm glad that it's happening, and I just can't wait till the last episode to see what goes on.
Yeah, I hate that it's the last episode.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be action-packed. I hope it's a little bit longer. This one was about 7 minutes longer than usual. So let's hope that the next one is even a little bit longer than that.
Maybe an hour and a half, like a real movie.
Ooh, that would be cool.
That would be
but
cool.
I don't think it is.
Or hour 15 minutes. That'd
Take
be
an
nice.
hour 10. No.
Yeah. But something to like finish off the story. It's been a good series. I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see what happens with these flag smashers because, they've initialized, and I think that they're going to be going farther than they originally thought they were going to go, and Carly's kind of got a big head about it now. She seems like a little bit more radicalized.
And she's more determined, and she doesn't have any doubt in her motive now.
But we may be seeing some pretty cool things because that end scene where Sam opens up that box. So I think we forgot to mention this earlier, but, Bucky, when he turned Zemo over to the Dora Milaje, he ended up asking Ayo for one last favor. Or like one favor, whatever.
Yeah.
Probably not the last one. And he ends up bringing that box from Wakanda to Sam. Well, Sam finally opens it in this last scene. And we don't see what's inside, but I'm pretty sure it's wings.
I think it's wings, but I think that I think what happened was Bucky did something with the wings. Not he didn't do something with the wings, but he had the Wakandans do something with the wings. And I'm thinking that it's going to look like some form of Captain America like wings.
Or do you think I think that would be super cool if they match the shield? Like
I'm thinking that's what's gonna. I think he's gonna have a similar outfit to what his Captain America outfit is in the comics.
So how do you think that it could be just a suit with no wings? A cap suit with no wings?
No, I think it's gonna be a suit with wings.
Oh, okay.
So it's gonna look similar to like a Captain America suit, but he's gonna have like Captain America like wings.
And is that in the comics?
That is in the comics.
Oh,
he
that
has
would be
like,
cool.
But his Captain America outfit is a lot different from Steve's. So you can definitely tell his has more white in it
It's
and
individualized.
red. Like Steve is more blue in his red, white, and blue, but his is more blue and white and stuff. And I think Falcon more focuses a little bit more on red in there,
Oh, cool.
I believe, and white.
Oh, because Falcon always is more red. So I'm so excited to see what happens.
Oh, and what about if you keep watching in there end credit scene?
There is. So, guys, for those of you listening, if you didn't see the end credit scene, be sure to go back and watch that because it was pretty interesting. So, you have to get through the first set of credits, I believe. Just keep fast forwarding until you see it. It's very short, but John Walker is seen welding it, making some weird ass makeshift shield. That thing is absolutely not going to hold up.
No, he's using steel or something like that. But, for it to be like as good as Captain America's shield, it's got to be made of vibranium. It's not going to have the bouncy bounce. I don't know how vibranium works. It's some kind of magic metal on how it bounces off of things. So he's trying to make a shield. It's not going to be nothing like that unless some kind of way they get him some vibranium, and maybe Valentina can get him some type of alloy to like cover it with. But
probably, but I think we're gonna see his unhinged self for a while first before we get
I think there's going to be a fight between him and Falcon, and Falcon's going to school him.
Oh, I can't wait to see it.
Yeah,
that shield looked just crazy, right? And he put some pin on it.
Oh, yeah.
Like a U.S. Patriot?
Yeah, like his little Patriot pin. So I think it's going to be like U.S. agent or something like that.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah, U.S. agent. Yeah. So that'll be interesting to see. Definitely some foreshadowing there.
I just can't wait to see what's going to happen next. It's going to be so awesome.
I know. It's going to be action-packed faux show.
When does Loki show start? Doesn't that start in not April, June?
June 11th.
June 11th. Oh, so that's going to be some time. I hope they're able to fill up that time void with something.
Yeah, I don't know. Like we said before, I think it was supposed to be Black Widow. and then it's not. So
Yeah.
we'll have to see, but we'll keep making episodes. We will probably be doing some gaming episodes every other week or so until the next show comes around, Loki.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see where they go from here. I don't have a lot of predictions to make, just really looking forward to seeing how things conclude, what things they wrap up now, and then what things they're going to save to wrap up in later shows or movies.
And I'm excited. I know it's going to be an action-filled episode. It's going to be a story-driven episode as well. I think there's going to be a lot going on, so I can't wait.
Yeah, this episode was very heartfelt.
Yeah.
There was a lot less action and a lot more story progression, which is what we needed. I think that the pacing has been fine. And if you were to binge watch it, like in a sitting, and just watch it from beginning to end, I bet it would feel very paced properly.
Yeah. It felt like just a really long movie.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with a little less action and a little more story.
Yeah.
So
I concur.
I liked this episode a lot. It was probably one of my favorites so far.
Yeah. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
It was
too.
good for a second to last episode.
Yeah, it was.
Of the
It was.
season.
It's a good lead up. So
It's kind of like how Game of Thrones, the second to last episode was always like the most like shocking or revealing. So this one wasn't super revealing, but it was great. I liked it.
Yeah. All right.
One more week.
one more week, and actually it's not even really a full week.
No.
About 6 days now. So
Yeah.
I think it's going to be great. Can't wait for it.
And thanks for listening to us talk so much about Falcon and the Winter Soldier. We've enjoyed following along with you guys. So,
Yep.
all right. Well, I think that about does it for this episode.
So you guys have a great weekend, resting weekend. Well, when you listen to this, it'll be a week. So have a great week.
Have a great week.
And then can't wait to hear, talk to you guys more, or like talk more about this next weekend.
Yeah. And if you guys have anything that you would like us to discuss, anything you want to point out, or just want to contact us, you can email us at dualcastpod@gmail.com. That's dualcastpod@gmail.com. And you can also find us on Instagram and Twitter at dualcastpod. That's dualcastpod. And we will see you guys next time.
See ya. Whoop, whoop.
Bye.
Bye.